Welcome to the Ken Meeks Show. Today we have comedian Kendall, Shorty Ward. Give it up, give it up, give it up. We also have executive pastor Tristan Harris. Give it up, give it up.
I've been on my hustle each and every day, trying to change my life. Ain't got time to play. Been going through some things, but it's all okay. By the grace of God, I will find my way. I've been in the streets, in and out my home. Nobody really cares until you're dead and gone. Working minimum wage, doing the best I can. I'm trying to elevate to be a better man. It's so hard.
Bringing out executive pastor Tristan Harris. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Have a seat, have a seat. Tristan, welcome to the show, man. What's going on?
Man, chilling out, man. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great.
Good.
So, man, I'm just gonna jump right into it, man. Tell me, what made you want to take the path of being a pastor?
I think it's sitting under the burden of always feeling connected to people and finding out, what that was, what that looks like. It's kind of instilled. It's more of a calling, so it's more inside than something that somebody taught me. So it was one of those things I just kind of couldn't get away from.
Got it. So I know being a pastor, you have to live by the book. So how hard is it during these times right now, with everything's going on with the Black Lives Matter and everything's going on in the world, how hard is it trying to get the right thing out to tell people, look, we need to do right, when you know that, we don't condone burning anything. We don't condone looting or nothing like that. But how hard is it to you trying to get the right word out when so much is going on?
It's actually kind of easy for me, to be honest with you. I think taking a non-traditional approach, I see Jesus as an activist. And so I think it just takes problems to expose answers. And the perspective that I've taken is, I've been sitting with this a long time, just let me know how we can throw it in or how we can implement it. And so seeing how the world has responded and seeing the despair just makes me feel more, called to arms, saying like, let's do it, let's make it happen together.
Okay, so how do you think, or why do you think we got to this point?
I think times expose so much. I often give this example that if something is going straight this way, and if you take one thing this way, and you with just a slight change over time, it becomes so separated that it's hard to believe that they were once ever together. And the solutions and the conversations have always existed, but they've always existed as like small microcosms. So now the conversations have become more mainstream, and I think that they are necessary, very, very much so needed, because you can't talk about change unless something changes. Right.
So do you think that it's a mental state that the world is going through?
I believe that most of it is psychological. As man advances technology, we don't take into account what it does to day-to-day living. We were birthed for one another. When you start adding an inanimate object in between us, it's hard to maintain the way relationships were supposed to go. So it gets a little harder. That it seems like the more innovative we become, the more out of touch we become. Right. And so kind of getting that pool, I love the fact that even with COVID, people talk about the negative, we never talk about the positives. One of the positives is everybody was affected. And I can't think of too many things where every country gets affected. So, I mean, I'm just one of those people, being a man of faith, like I have to take that perspective of seeing bigger pictures.
I 100% agree with you, man. Also, with everything that is going on in sports, you have, kids saying that, look, I'm not going to play, but you also have spectators saying, look, shut up and play ball. So how do you, I mean, what do you think about that? Just shut up and play ball statement.
Yeah, there will always be slaves and slave masters. And I think the mentality is always been there. Again, not so much exposed. So times expose the motives of the heart. So so here we are in one of those times where the truth is being brought to light. And by truth, we're not talking about the answer. We're talking about a person's perspective.
Right.
And I think we learned from Alton Sterling, and you know what I mean, just so many different examples. I can give a million, but just situations that have happened where it is an undertone that all of the entertainment stands on top of. So for me, the word entertainment is actually a sentence. Okay. So entertainment, meant anything that's established. Then enter, we see that. The hidden word is detain. So if we were to put it together, it is to establish yourself as something detained while something enters you.
Wow.
So anything that you entertain or anything that entertains you, you have to accept it. And I think that so much, or for so long, I should say, we have accepted a false narrative about value. They don't value you, they value what you do.
There you go. Well, you said something then.
So, I mean, I've never been voted that. I'm not the biggest basketball player fan. Like, you know, so I mean, when it comes down to it, I see those people as people who in large part were purchased. You're purchased for a certain time in your life where you are designed to stay healthy, and they will help you maintain. They'll throw millions of dollars at you to maintain you because of what they are going to profit from you. So it's still entertainment, and I just have a problem with somebody looking at my life for their entertainment.
Got you. Man, I love this conversation, man. We can talk about this all day, but we got to pay the bills, man.
Absolutely.
So look, I'm going to let y'all go. We're going to be right back with Tristan Harris. Welcome back. We're still here with Tristan Harris. At this part of the segment, we want to talk about relationships. Tristan, you ready for that?
Yeah, man. Let's dive in, man.
So look, man, I keep getting these questions about dating. So my question to you is, how do you feel about the modern day dating today with millennials? And I know it's not like it used to be. Yeah. So how can you break down dating today?
Wow, dating today is kind of hard, and I say that because it doesn't come with a manual.
Okay, this is juicy one.
So like relationships have always been, it's still trial and error. But being able to get to resources, I think so many people are aloof as what they take as foundation for relationships, because before we were connected, we were having conversations with family. Families would also help you check out the person, and they would fill you in on what they thought was, you know what I mean, a go and what was a no. Right. And
Grandma would always tell you.
Yeah, we would get those perspectives. Well,
exactly.
Now
we go to church, all that.
Yeah. So now that we don't really have that, man, we're like relegated to like memes and stuff on social media. So, and then when you start adding in astrology, everybody's like, "This is my sign, and this is what I believe." So it makes it.
A lot
of
people are very big on signs.
Yeah,
they stick with that.
Yeah,
they stick with them signs. Yeah.
I'm not the biggest fan of them. I mean, of course, being a man of the cloth, so to speak, like it's kind of hard for me. I mean, to adhere to astrology as a foundational principle for, you know what I mean, believing that you are relegated to a month for how your character can be. Mm-hmm.
Is dating these days, is it 50-50? Is it 60-40?
It should be 50-50 in my personal assessment. Of course, you can't tell people how to date because that creates another offense, right? But what I have learned, though, is in the perspective of 50-50, it challenges you to take some part of the responsibility of what you bring to the table. And every relationship comes down to willingness and unwillingness, no matter who you are, no matter what your creed, your background is. It's willingness. And once you start there, I believe then we can kind of wind down on what we need and how much we should be giving from both perspectives.
It's not about being compatible. and also equally yoked, right?
Absolutely. There are 8 levels of intimacy, and sex is number 3 from the bottom. So when you start talking, so number 1, I mean, aesthetic intimacy, right? You got a look of feeling, right? And so when I see the guys sagging their pants, when I see, you know what I mean?
But some women like that. I've seen beautiful women with the men sagging.
Sure. I mean, that's a part of your 50-50.
So is that a mindset, or is that just?
Absolutely. Ken, one of the things that I've seen is most people are dating without acknowledging another person's value system. So that's what you date. When you date, I'm dating what you value. You value rappers, you value, you know what I mean, country living, you value whatever that is, that's what I'm dating. And how much of that?
You date what you value.
Yeah.
Y'all hear that, right? You date what you value.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, finding somebody compatible is finding a compatible value system to what you already have in place. So if you just come as a taker, well, you're probably perfect for a giver. But 2 takers generally don't work out, right?
Not at all.
So it's one of those things of being
Everybody can't be broke.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So it's one of those things of being able to back away from it and have a perspective where you are able to see that that person is or is not given. You know what I mean? So, I mean, to me, that's what makes dating in any level, in any era.
I like
hard.
it. I love it. I love it. Again, everybody, Tristan Harris. Welcome back. Is everybody enjoying the show? Yeah. You can find me on Instagram. I am Ken1 Meeks. That's KenWuanMeeks. Also, Facebook, Ken1 Meeks. So the next person we got coming out, man, this guy is very, very, very funny. He tours with Michael Blackson. Man, this guy's awesome. Kendall, Shorty, Ward. What's going on, brother? What's
Thanks for
What's
having
good?
me.
Have a seat, man. Have a seat. So what's going on, man? So you on tour now?
I am. I'm on tour with Michael Blackson.
Okay.
First of all, I love the set, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I see
Talk
you.
about the set.
I see we both shop at the Dollar Tree, but this is cool, man. I like it.
Yeah. I paid about $15 for this. Man.
But yeah, I'm on tour with Michael Blackson. It's great, man. I love it. Mike's hilarious. You know, one of the most famous comedians in the game right now.
Yeah, he's good, man. Shout out to Michael Blackson.
Yes, and so he took me we on tour together. We're touring all over, and it's beautiful. Just using this to piggyback off, to get my own stuff, take me to the next level. And plus, I know Mike for years, so.
Right, that's good, man. So my question to you, man, is it any jokes that you try to stay away from on the show? Or is everything open? Because it's all comedy.
Right.
Or is it something you say, nah, that's not my character?
It is. People say comedy is derived from pain because people try to put, from pain, they try to make funny to shed a light on it. There is things that I do stay away from. I don't dabble in politics. That's just not me. I like when Dave Chappelle does and other people. It's funny.
So you're not voting for Trump?
I am not. When I'm on tour with Mike, as a courtesy, I do stay away from jokes that we may have similar.
Right.
Because he's the headliner. So, it's nothing, and plus he does way more time. So if I have anything resembling what he talks about, any different subjects, I go around it. I don't talk about it, in respect for him.
Right.
But other than that, comedy is subjective. So what I may find funny or an observation, it might offend someone else. Right. But I'm not, I'm there for me, telling my truth and what I feel it's funny. But to answer your question, I do stay away from certain things. Okay. Like politics and.
So what would you say to a young person or somebody that's coming up and they really want to be a comedian and they want to get on the big stage? I know you got to crawl before you walk, but can you share some of the things that you encountered and getting to where you are now?
I would tell them, get another job. Don't go comedy. Nah, I would say
Right.
comedy, I love it. I really love my job. And I enjoy it. I love to make people laugh. And right quick, one time I did this show and this lady came up to me afterwards and she was crying and she was like, I was going through so much and when I wasn't even gonna come today. And when I saw you, you just changed my whole outlook.
Wow.
For that brief time you were up there, you made me forget about what I was going through. And that was one of the biggest compliments I ever got. Because that's what we do it for,
Right.
stuff like that. So when I see younger comics get into the game, when they ask me advice, I say, number one, have fun.
Have fun.
Because when I'm on stage, I love it. And it shows. Like,
Right.
you know, it's not a job. I know I'm up and performing and I'm working, but I have fun when I'm on stage, number one. Number
Right.
two, don't take yourself so serious. And always, when you walk on stage, people automatically have a perception of you. Like when you came out, people was like, look at this bald-headed dude, you know, like sharp, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
when I
clean,
come out,
yeah.
they be like, wow, this is a handsome dude. So, you know, you gotta acknowledge what the people think
Got
of you and say that.
Right,
so you make the
right.
people
Feel comfortable.
feel comfortable. And you have to establish yourself. Also, what I tell comics when they go on stage, the first thing you say has to be funny.
Right.
Whatever it is. Because once you get that, because we're all nervous.
Yeah.
The best of them get nervous.
Have you ever been booed?
I have.
Okay.
But that's one of the questions you said you wasn't going to ask. But you know what? I'm out of here with this interview. No, I have been booed. A quick story. First of all, Bill Bellamy gave me my start a long time ago.
Shout out to Bill Bellamy.
I went to this, no shout out to Bill, because when I went there and I saw him, he was like, come back next week, I'm going to put you on. I came back the next week, I told everybody I was going to be packed with people that I know, friends. Bill wasn't there. But I told the club, hey, Bill said I can go on, I'm new, I'm trying to get into it. So they put me up anyway. Had to be about 200 people in there. Wild room, wild. Like, this was not a room for somebody to begin. You had to be seasoned. Went on stage, how's everybody doing? Boo! Get the F out of here. Just, oh my God, off the bat. And I blanked out. I forgot everything I wrote, everything, nothing. People started heckling me, and I'm not a heckler. So I was like, I lost it.
So you just walked off the stage?
I didn't walk off the stage. I managed to get some jokes out, and other comics that was there afterwards came up to me and was like, listen, it happens to the best of it. This is my first time. They didn't know, but they saw the potential, and I kept going. That's another thing I tell the young comics. You got to keep going. If this is what you want to do, you get off the horse, you get back on, and you keep going. Like, I bombed, but I learned from it, and you learn from the times that you bomb, and then you know
Get back up.
Right, get back up, and it'll turn itself around.
I love it, man. So before I let you go, I gotta ask you, man, what are your top 5 comedians, man? Who are your top 5 comedians?
God, I hate when I
to
get
put
that
you on the
question.
spot, man.
I know. You know, to be honest, I really don't have a top 5.
Okay.
I love to laugh. I love comedy, but I love comedy that makes you think. I tell you this, instead of my top 5, one of my favorite comedians, white guy named Stephen Wright.
Okay.
A lot of people don't know about him, but if you look him up, Stephen Wright, funny. His comedy goes down one way and then takes you left. And that's what I started. When I started writing, I started writing jokes like that. Go one way and then go the other way. It's called a misdirection. Like, you would never think my punchline is going to be what I say based on the joke.
Gotcha.
So, you know, I like that. So I really don't have a top 5. A lot of people that's my favorites that I like, but not really a top 5.
So no Red Fox, Richard Pryor.
No, I like them, but I don't have a top 5.
You don't want to make anybody mad.
No, it's not that. I don't have a top 5.
Okay,
Like, it's just,
Great. Everybody, Kendall, Shorty, Ward.
Thank you. And don't forget, because he wasn't about to ask me, follow me on my social media. Instagram, Kendall, Shorty, Kendall, Comedian Kendall. I'm sorry, Comedian Kendall. Facebook, Kendall, Shorty, Ward. And thanks for having me, bro.
Anytime, bro. Shorty Ward.
Thank you very much.
All right, brother.
All right.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out to the Ken Warren Meek Show. Be kind to everybody, and everybody will be kind back to you. I'm out.
In the streets, in and out my home. Nobody really cares until you're dead and gone. Working minimum wage,